Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Growth Mindset Hour. I'm Jake, and today we're diving deep into a topic that touches every single one of us, self-esteem and confidence.
Hi, Jake, and hello to all our wonderful listeners. I'm Sue, and I'm really excited about this discussion. Confidence isn't just about speaking loudly or walking proudly. It's about how we see ourselves inside.
Exactly, Sue. I think most people, at some point, struggle with self-doubt. Even the most successful individuals have moments when they question their worth. So today, we'll unpack what self-esteem really means, how confidence develops, and, most importantly, how we can strengthen it over time.
Right, and we'll share stories, psychological insights, and practical strategies that our listeners can start using today. Because improving self-esteem isn't about perfection, it's about progress.
Well said. Let's begin by clarifying the difference between self-esteem and confidence. Many people use them interchangeably, but they aren't exactly the same thing.
So, Jake, if I say I feel confident when I give presentations, that's about believing in my ability to perform a specific task, right?
Exactly. That's self-confidence. It's task-specific. It's about believing you can do something successfully.
And self-esteem, on the other hand, is the overall sense of how much we value ourselves.
Right. Self-esteem is broader. It's our self-worth. It's about feeling deserving of respect, love, and happiness.
I like to think of it this way. Confidence is the can-do, and self-esteem is the am-worthy.
That's a beautiful way to put it. The can-do and the am-worthy.
Thanks. But you know, Jake, many people build confidence in certain areas, but still feel low self-esteem deep down. Like a person can be confident at work, but feel unworthy in personal relationships.
Absolutely. That shows why working on self-esteem requires going deeper than skills. It's about how we talk to ourselves, how we process failure, and how we define our value.
Let's talk about where self-esteem originates. I think it begins early in life. The messages we receive from family, teachers, friends.
Yes, childhood plays a big role. If children grow up feeling accepted, valued, and supported, they develop healthy self-esteem. But if they're constantly criticized, compared, or ignored, they may internalize the idea that they're not good enough.
It's amazing how those early experiences shape our inner dialogue as adults. Sometimes we're still hearing our parents' or teachers' voices inside our heads.
True. And the good news is, even if someone didn't have supportive experiences early on, they can rebuild self-esteem later through awareness and intentional practice.
That's really empowering because people often feel trapped by their past, but in reality, self-esteem is a skill, something we can strengthen like a muscle.
Exactly. And like a muscle, it grows through consistent effort. Small daily habits, such as positive self-talk, setting boundaries, and celebrating small wins, can gradually reshape how we see ourselves.
Jake, I think it's important to clear up some common myths about confidence.
Definitely. What's one myth you hear often?
The idea that confident people never feel fear or doubt.
Yes, that's a big one. People assume confidence means being fearless, but true confidence means acting despite fear. It's courage, not the absence of fear.
Exactly. Even public speakers, athletes, or performers who look confident often feel nervous before big moments. The difference is they don't let fear stop them.
Right. Another myth is that confidence is something you're born with. In truth, confidence is learned. It's built through experiences, effort, and reflection.
I remember when I first started hosting, I was so anxious. My hands would literally shake. But over time, by practicing and preparing, I felt more capable.
I can relate. My first time recording a podcast, I overthought every word. But the more I did it, the easier it became. Experience breeds confidence.
So, the lesson here, confidence grows from doing, not just from thinking.
Exactly. Action fuels belief.
Let's talk about that inner voice, the one that says, you're not good enough, or you're going to mess up. Everyone hears it sometimes.
Yes, that inner critic. It's sneaky, persistent, and often shaped by past experiences. But the key is not to silence it completely, it's to challenge it.
So instead of believing the thought, I always fail, we can reframe it as, I didn't succeed this time, but I can learn from it.
Exactly. That's called cognitive reframing, a powerful psychological technique. It helps us see ourselves with more compassion and realism.
I love that. Because self-esteem isn't about telling yourself you're perfect. It's about being honest, kind, and fair to yourself.
Yes, self-esteem is built on self-acceptance. It's saying, I'm not flawless, but I'm still valuable.
That's beautiful, Jake.
Thank you, Sue. And when we consistently practice self-acceptance, it changes how we show up in the world, in relationships, at work, and even when we're alone.
Let's give our listeners some practical steps to start improving their self-esteem.
Great idea. Step 1, self-awareness. Pay attention to your internal dialogue. Notice how often you criticize yourself versus how often you encourage yourself.
Right. I sometimes tell my clients to write down their negative thoughts for one day, just to notice patterns. Awareness is the first step to change.
Step 2, practice self-compassion. Treat yourself the way you would treat a close friend. If your friend made a mistake, you wouldn't say, "You're such a failure." You'd say, "It's okay. You'll do better next time."
That's so important. Compassion doesn't mean making excuses. It means giving yourself permission to be human.
Step 3, set achievable goals. Every time we achieve something meaningful, even small things like finishing a task or learning something new, it reinforces our sense of capability.
And that's where confidence and self-esteem meet. Each small success builds the belief that we can handle challenges.
Exactly. And over time, those small wins accumulate into genuine self-trust.
In the last part, we talked about self-awareness as the first step. I'd love to dig deeper, Jake. How can people actually become more self-aware day to day?
Great question. One of the simplest tools is journaling. When you write regularly about your feelings, reactions, or moments of pride, you start noticing patterns.
I totally agree. It's amazing what you uncover when you put your thoughts on paper. Sometimes we don't realize how harshly we judge ourselves until we see it written down.
Exactly. And another method is mindfulness, learning to observe thoughts without judgment. Instead of saying, I shouldn't feel insecure, you just notice, I feel insecure right now.
That creates space between you and the feeling. You're no longer inside the insecurity, you're observing it. That little distance can change everything.
Right. And over time, self-awareness helps us respond instead of react. It gives us control over our emotional patterns.
And that's such a confidence-building experience, realizing you can choose your response rather than be controlled by old habits.
Now, Sue, what about positive affirmations? They're so popular. I am strong. I am confident. Do they actually work?
They can, but only when they're authentic. If someone with low self-esteem says, I'm perfect, their brain rejects it because it doesn't feel true.
Nodding. So instead of extreme affirmations, it's better to use ones that feel believable, like, I'm learning to appreciate myself, or I'm growing more confident each day.
Yes, those statements acknowledge progress, not perfection. They bridge the gap between doubt and belief.
And consistency matters. Repeating a healthy affirmation every morning,
especially when paired with mindful breathing, helps rewire thought patterns over time.
I love that combination. Breathing, awareness, and affirmation. It turns a simple sentence into a moment of self-connection.
Let's shift toward confidence building through action, because confidence grows from doing, right?
Exactly. The brain learns through experience. When you face something challenging, even small things like making a phone call or speaking in a meeting, you're training your confidence muscle.
I often tell people, start with micro challenges. For example, make eye contact with a stranger, express your opinion politely in a group, or try a new hobby.
Micro challenges. I like that term. They're small enough not to feel overwhelming, but meaningful enough to build momentum.
Yes, and each time you follow through, your brain records a success. That's psychological evidence that you can handle more next time.
So, confidence doesn't appear magically, it accumulates, one small act of courage at a time. Okay, Jake, let's talk about something that really tests self-esteem: criticism and rejection.
Oh yes, two of the biggest confidence killers.
When someone criticizes us, especially harshly, our instinct is to believe them, to internalize the message.
True, but healthy self-esteem means separating feedback from identity. Feedback says, this action could improve. Low self-esteem hears, you're a failure.
That's such a powerful distinction.
The key is to pause before reacting. Ask yourself, is this feedback constructive? Does it come from someone I trust? If yes, use it to grow. If not, let it go.
And rejection, that's even tougher. Whether it's a job, a friendship, or love, rejection can feel personal.
Absolutely. But rejection is redirection. Often it means the situation wasn't aligned with who we are or what we're ready for.
That's comforting. And I think self-esteem grows when we remind ourselves that one no doesn't define our worth.
Exactly. It's just one perspective in a world full of possibilities.
Now, a big one in today's world: comparison. With social media, it's so easy to feel less than.
Totally. We see highlight reels of everyone else's life and compare them to our behind-the-scenes moments.
Right. We forget that people only post their best angles, not their struggles.
Reflective. The antidote is gratitude. When you intentionally focus on what's going well in your life, you stop measuring yourself by others' standards.
Gratitude grounds us in reality. Instead of, I'm not as successful as them, we start thinking, I'm grateful for the progress I've made.
Exactly. And sometimes, taking a break from social media can help reset perspective.
Yes, a comparison detox.
I love that term.
Curious tone. Let's talk about body language. It's interesting how our physical posture can influence confidence.
Definitely. Psychologists call it the embodiment effect. Our body signals affect our mind. Standing tall, keeping shoulders open, and maintaining eye contact can actually make you feel more confident.
So, if I sit up straight and breathe deeply before an interview, it's not just about looking confident, it changes how my brain perceives the situation.
Exactly. It boosts testosterone slightly and lowers cortisol, the stress hormone.
Wow! So, our body can literally help regulate our confidence chemistry.
It can. And the same goes for smiling. Even a small, genuine smile can trigger positive emotions internally.
Cheerful tone. So, posture, breathing, and smiling, all simple yet powerful tools.
Another huge factor in confidence is how we communicate.
Yes, the way we express ourselves shapes how others perceive us and how we perceive ourselves.
One tip is to slow down your speech slightly.
People who speak too fast often sound anxious, while calm pacing signals confidence.
That's interesting. It also gives the brain time to think, reducing those awkward moments.
Exactly. And tone matters too. A friendly but steady tone conveys authority without aggression.
So, confidence in speech isn't about volume, it's about clarity and calm.
Perfectly said, Sue.
I'd love to talk about how self-esteem affects relationships, because low self-esteem can make us seek validation from others.
Yes. When we don't feel enough inside, we often depend on external approval. Compliments, attention, reassurance.
But that's exhausting, right? Because no one can give us constant approval.
Exactly. Healthy relationships are built between two people who already feel whole, not half complete.
That's a beautiful way to say it. Whole, not half complete.
Thanks, Sue. And when both people have self-esteem, they support each other's growth instead of seeking control or validation.
So, self-esteem doesn't just make you happier, it improves every connection you have.
Now, let's touch on perfectionism, the hidden enemy of self-esteem.
Oh, yes. Perfectionism makes you chase an impossible standard. No matter how much you achieve, it never feels like enough.
Exactly. It turns self-improvement into self-punishment.
So, the antidote is embracing imperfection, recognizing that mistakes are part of growth.
Yes, we can replace perfectionism with excellence, striving to do our best while accepting that flaws are human.
That mindset shift alone can lift so much pressure off people's shoulders.
Absolutely. Progress over perfection, always.
Jake, earlier we talked about awareness and self-compassion. I think we should go deeper into something that often holds people back: forgiveness.
Yes, forgiving ourselves for past mistakes is one of the hardest but most liberating parts of building self-esteem.
Many people carry guilt for things they did years ago, and that guilt silently eats away at their sense of worth.
True, but guilt is meant to teach, not to torture. Once you've learned the lesson, holding on to guilt no longer serves you.
That's beautiful. Guilt is meant to teach, not to torture. I think we all need to remember that.
And forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing the behavior. It means acknowledging you were doing the best you could with the awareness you had then.
Right. It's saying, I made a mistake, but I'm still worthy of kindness and growth. That's the foundation of emotional healing, self-acceptance through forgiveness.
And once we forgive ourselves, we open space for new confidence to grow, because shame no longer defines us.
Let's talk about resilience, because confidence doesn't mean never falling. It means learning how to rise again.
Exactly. Resilience is the bridge between self-esteem and long-term confidence. It's how we stay grounded through challenges.
How do you personally build resilience, Jake?
For me, it's all about perspective. When something goes wrong, instead of asking, "Why me?" I ask, "What can this teach me?" It turns pain into purpose.
That's a strong mindset. I've found that having a support system helps too. Friends or mentors who remind you of your value when you forget.
Absolutely. We don't build confidence in isolation. We grow through connection, support, and shared encouragement.
And sometimes resilience means resting, giving yourself permission to pause instead of pushing endlessly.
Well said. Rest is not quitting, it's recharging. Confidence requires energy, and energy needs care.
Jake, one thing that quietly strengthens confidence is integrity, doing what you say you'll do.
Absolutely. Every time you follow through on a promise, even small ones, your brain learns, I can trust myself.
And that trust builds inner security, which is the core of confidence.
Right. We often think confidence comes from achievements, but it actually comes from self-trust.
So if someone wants to feel more confident, they can start with small commitments, like waking up on time or finishing a task they've postponed.
Exactly. Keep promises to yourself. It's not about perfection, but consistency.
Confidence built on integrity lasts longer than confidence built on appearance or approval.
100%. Integrity is confidence's silent partner.
Jake, earlier you mentioned gratitude as an antidote to comparison. I think it deserves more attention.
Definitely. Gratitude is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to raise self-esteem. When you regularly recognize what's good in your life, you shift from deficiency to abundance.
I like to recommend a 3 good things exercise. At the end of each day, write down 3 things you appreciated about yourself or your day.
That's wonderful. It retrains the brain to notice positivity.
And gratitude doesn't ignore pain, it balances it. You can feel sad or anxious and still be grateful for small blessings.
Exactly. Gratitude coexists with imperfection, and that's what makes it healing.
Let's talk about how our environment affects self-esteem.
That's a big one. The people and places around us shape our energy and beliefs.
If you're surrounded by negativity, constant criticism, or toxic relationships, it's hard to maintain confidence.
True. That's why it's vital to curate your environment. Surround yourself with people who see your potential, not just your past.
And that doesn't mean cutting everyone out, but setting healthy boundaries, protecting your mental space.
Exactly. Boundaries are self-respect in action.
That's a powerful phrase. Boundaries are self-respect in action.
Thank you. It's something I remind myself often.
Jake, if you had to sum up confidence in one mindset, what would it be?
I'd say, I can handle whatever comes. Because true confidence isn't about knowing everything. It's about trusting your ability to figure it out.
I love that. It shifts focus from outcomes to adaptability.
Exactly. You stop fearing failure because you know it's part of learning.
And I'd add, I am enough. It's simple, but it's the heart of self-esteem.
Perfect addition, Sue. Those two together, I can handle it and I am enough, create emotional stability.
Let's make this practical again. What are some simple daily actions to strengthen confidence?
Okay, here's a quick list. 1. Stand tall every morning. Start your day with a confident posture. 2. Keep small promises, like drinking water, journaling, or cleaning your desk. 3. Learn something new each week. Growth builds pride. 4. Celebrate wins, even small ones. Say out loud, I did well today. 5. Limit negative self-talk. Catch it and replace it.
Sue, that's a great list. I'd add one more. Help others. Acts of kindness boost self-worth because they remind us that we make a difference.
Yes, helping others makes you see your own value reflected back.
It's hard to feel worthless when you're doing something meaningful.
Reflective, let's be real. Even with all these tools, everyone faces moments of doubt.
Yes, and that's okay. Confidence isn't a permanent state. It's a cycle. Some days you'll feel strong, other days fragile.
What matters is not avoiding those low days, but knowing how to respond.
For example, instead of saying, I've lost my confidence, say, I'm going through a temporary dip, but I can rebuild.
Exactly. Words shape resilience. Self-talk during setbacks is the true test of esteem.
So, when you stumble, rest, reflect, and restart. That's strength. Jake, before we wrap up, what do you think is the ultimate secret to lasting confidence?
Honestly, authenticity.
I couldn't agree more.
When you're authentic, when you stop pretending and start accepting your true self, confidence becomes effortless.
Because you're no longer performing, you're just being.
Exactly. And people can feel that. Real confidence radiates naturally from authenticity.
So maybe the journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who we've always been.
Beautifully said, Sue. As we come to the end of today's episode, let's summarize what we've learned.
Self-esteem is the foundation of self-worth. believing that you are deserving of love and respect.
Confidence is the expression of that belief, acting with courage even when you're afraid.
We build both through awareness, compassion, small actions, and consistency.
Through forgiving ourselves, setting boundaries, celebrating progress, and being authentic.
And above all, by remembering that we are all a work in progress, perfectly imperfect human beings.
Perfectly imperfect. I love that.
So, to everyone listening, believe in your growth. Be kind to yourself. Keep learning.
Because confidence isn't about being better than others, it's about being better than the person you were yesterday.
Thank you for joining us on this journey towards stronger self-esteem and confidence.
We hope today's conversation inspires you to see your worth and embrace your potential.
Until next time, stay kind, stay confident, and keep believing in yourself.
Take care, everyone.